Okay, today our kind of short section called Kading Juchatang, Pepe, Zomchatang, Zobatamchas, distinguishing translation of Indian texts from Tibetan composition by examine homage. So this is more like kind of like a simple. See, you want to look at the text from either Sanskrit or Pali or Indian language, translate in Tibetan language. This is pretty Jagarjetu and Burketu. But we see this thing, Tamje Kimbala Chatselo. So one text we see this thing, other day we say Sanje Tang, Janju Semba Tamje La Chatselo. Or another text we say Jambe Shunu Jubala Chatselo. So this all sort of this thing called something Jebekachi the homage of a royal decree, or sometimes they call Deni Winjigicha, the homage identifying the Pitaka, or sometimes simply saying Jucha, translated homage. So this like, just like before King Tirabhajan's time, one translator translated from Sanskrit or Pali in Tibetan language, and they homage whatever they desire they want to. Sometimes I pay homage to Vrajapani, or sometimes I pay homage to the Avalokiteshvara, or sometimes I pay homage to the Tara. So like you can see lots of different things. Then after King Tirabhajan, then King Tirabhajan can decree or make a law. So you have to those three things. So that's here I'm telling a little bit example. Tamje Kimbala Chatsalo. So if after King Tirabhajan, you can say Tamje Kimbala Chatsalo. That means King Tirabhajan, they kind of decree that it is declared that any text belong to the Vinaya itself or to its category, one should mass homage to the omniscient one. This, I think that's the reason, because that he said in some Vinaya, something permission, something prohibition, something allowed or not allowed. Only Buddha know those things. But that's why we have to pay homage to the omniscient.
So for texts related to the Vinaya.
Yeah, exactly. So then if we text, we say after King Tirabhajan text say Tamche like a translates Tamche Kimbala Chasalo, then we know either this below Vinaya text or its category of Vinaya. That's one thing. And second thing, Sanjeta Janju Semba Tamjela Chasalo. At the same thing, any sutra or text of that category should homage to all the Buddha and Bodhisattva. I think this, he said this because all sutras, Bodhisattva ask question to the Buddha, and Buddha give the answer. So because of that, we should pay homage to the Buddha or Bodhisattva. That's also King decree. And also we can say, Jambe Shunu Jubala Chatsalo, like pay homage to Menjishi, right? They say like any Abhidhamma text or text belong to that category, we should pay homage to the Manjushri. Is it because of, Abhidhamma, they're talking lots of number and lots of type is, so Pumbunga, Kam, Chopje, Jeji Junior, so many number, is a lot of confusing. So they say like, in order to remember those things, in order to identify just differently, we have to have a wisdom.
So you need Manjushri's help.
Yeah, Manjushri is the deity of the wisdom. So that's why we pay homage to Manjushri.
Right. And these come at the beginning of the text, so it kind of helps you know something about what kind of text it is.
Exactly, yeah. So this like before King Tirel, you cannot tell, because after King Tirel, and then we can tell. This is like what type of Tripitaka. So that's this is like from Indian text. Then when you look at the Tibetan text, so I think this is Maoko Chanjadeva. Maoko Chanja means kind of like, I think this is composed by the Pandita Midijana. In Tibetan, his name is Tempe Yishi. And he's really, really famous pandita. I think lots of people know. He came to Tibet with a translator. When he was some part of Tibet, his translator passed away. So he can't do anything. He's staying for many years in Tibet wandering. Then he's studying Tibet language. Then he composed this text, Mago Chunja. So there's a Chunja, so weapon for the teacher. So like if you go to the war, you need a weapon. So like teaching, we have to know those things. And Mago Chunja said, "The tenju chomba shebe, parche pangwachang, yerog to the Tibet, tampacha session. Goba kondu chubar chavichi, kanshi sheba, shebarcha tamjeba." So basically saying, Mago Chunja, they're saying, we have to do these two things: chuju, homage, or expression or worship, or verse or offering, and then zomba tamja, promise of composition. So first, before composition, we have to chuju. Why this is parche pangwachang. If we basically saying worship or pay homage to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and you gain the merit. So then you remove obstacle. And also and also your behavior for more noble one. So like a pay homage. For that, we have to pay homage. Mm-hmm. Then in order to completing, we have to promise. So like sometimes even we ordinary people like us, somebody asks, we say, we promise, then we have to do it. We don't have any promise we want to do. So that's why this is important. So there's like, after that, this is 11th century. After this text, Tibetan scholar, whoever composed the text, they have to have both Choji and Tsoma Tamja. So I noticed that some students want to translate, and Choji they find it quite difficult. So that's why like here, this is Choji. And Tsoma Tamja is more simple. In terms of Choji, we use many different language. So that's I quote from Sajja Pandita. Sajja Pandita, Sabe Kenju. I think Kenju means like the entrance gate for the voice one, right? So Sabe Kenju. Sabe Kenju said, "Tenju jebe tambayi, temba lani choji ja. Temba pechi dagbisi dila tebo sangotong. Chodu nubi dani jen, sheba josa mingedi, tamje doyang tembayi, chewan bashi donchiros." So basically saying, it's really somewhere means before compose a text, we have to pay homage. As for homage, you can say chu, offering, do praise, do respect, or shebachi auspicious, etc. You can use it. This all is a meaning the same because anyway, this all you talking the good quality of someone, your teacher. So that's you can say chu, or you can do, or shichu, or gel. The meaning using different language. So here, I think those I try to give more example.
Different words to use for paying homage at the beginning of a text.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So for those things, I try to give a few more example. Maybe we can see this thing.
Okay.
So this is like a Tsema Riti Namshe Nimbi Nimbu. Tsema Riti means so basically treasure of logic on the value cognition, which is composed by the Sajja Pandita. So Sajja Pandita text and Rongde wrote the commentary. So this commentary, you can see this thing. So this is like a name text. Sometimes like just one line. But basically saying he pay homage to the Gangrin Doji means like color of the snow, which is talking about our Lokishora. Mm-hmm. Then from the old verses, Himbe, maybe also I'm reading, cutting two when you're reading halffull. Himbe, Hingor, Chashe, Yongzok, Xing, Malu, Dola, Sewe, Tangi, Jin, Tukji, Silsiri, Chokte, Nambar, Yo, Tongwa, Maui, Dawar, Chaksel, Law. So that's like pay homage to the Buddha. So like I think before this is like important, and when you translate the text, first we have to know what type of this text. because of it. Logic text then they may pay homage to Dharma creative or Dignagar, we just think, right? If or Abhidharma talking about Asanga or Vasambandhu, so this also is very important. And also it's very important, this Lama. If Lama, this Sajja Lama pay homage to Sajja's Lama, and Gilu Lama pay homage to Gilu. Sometimes they say I pay homage to my Lama. From it verses you can't do anything, so you have to know a little bit. So therefore, if you know that this type of text and little bit background, this Lama, lots of things you can figure out. But beginning always like pay homage to Buddha. Pay homage to Buddha. Mise Mumba Jachin Jombe Topna Sing. Gele Ritor Rikbe Wesri Jinze Pa. Mudik Tsemo Gyue Chognam Pamze Jing. Tembe Bemo Geji Chogi Langbo Gel. So here you can see Chogi Langbo, which is like Dignagar. This is logic text here, pay homage to Chogi Langbo. Dagme Shunglu Danju Yangda Rikba Yi. Malu Pamze Yangda Döndong Jinju Ba. Chuju Chakba Yangda Niji Nawe we Yangda Shunglu Rabse Cheba number J. See here, Shugitawa, Damakiti. Because like in terms of logic text and Chola actually is very important. That's what here is number J Victor. Here something like Chatselo. This meaning is same Sajipandi, this whatever you use it. Mangdu Tube Loju Meju Kyuyang Su. Shunglu Bumta Jiwe Zugri Yongzo Xing Zhengli Kepa Gunji Zugi Yenju Ba Pegu Mudi Bungzo Yangda Rikpa Yi Gundu Pamze Ngata Niji Rigni Kin Ramye Dragwe Ngata Gyatsu Tadru Jing Gyatsu Niji Sai Tatu Rabni Ba Sajja Benji Tebe Zugu Nubu Chu. Sajja Benji. This is like two verses talking about Sajja Bendita. Basically, he more talking about it's like a life story Sajja Bendita. So this thing. So Chu make offering Sajja Bendita because this is like a Tema redeem is the treasure of the logic on the value cognition. This text composed by Sajja Bendita. He pay homage Sajja Bendita. So this thing. Shirop Kinkor Rikbe Wedon Raptoshin Pegu Mumbe Shunglu Malu Pamjila Kema Lingxie Una Riwan Lumbushin Rabji Mawu Wambo Bende Lama Gel. Spende Lama. So basically saying glorious Lama. Because if you don't know the life story of wrongdoing, then just we have no idea. If somebody know this thing, then wrong this Lama, we can tell. So that's why it's also important to this biography. And Toki Ringlu, Mumi Rapsel, Semendo, Sushin Namchi, Dudun Zeba, Ripeshun, Gongdun Yangda, Ripe Namchi, Ripeted, Sudun Shimun Jebe, Lecture, Seorja. So this is a promise. I'm going to write this thing, text. But that's why you can see now from they're now actually text. So that's why like a two thing, Chuji and Zobatamjao. This is if text root text composed by Tibetan Lama, and then this root commentary by Tibetan Lama, you can see Dagarajedo or Bergedo, this thing.
Right.
Now it's like another one example.
So this is the kind of basic structure of a text written by a Tibetan commenting on a text written by a Tibetan.
Exactly, yes.
Right? Okay.
So this is like a Tibetan Vigula Metenchu, Uttara Tantra. So that's like, Maitreya Buddha, he composed 5 texts. This is one of these. This is quite popular in Tibet. So also like Rongde wrote a commentary on that. Here we can see Tibetan Vigula Metenchu is the name of the text. Because this is like Indian like scholar, right? Yagarakedo, this thing, and Bergedo, Tibetan issues. See, Spanish attention matamjela chazal. So this is like come from India. So then from here, then actually start for Tibetan thing. Rabji Shirki Rivu W Ku Bari Lekbar Domba Hai Ngati Sung speech. Deep number Taku Tungawa mind. Happy Hajo Gari Dogjinki Gari to he pay homage to the our Logishore. It's our Logishore bodies like that, mind like speech like that, mind like this is quite common. Body, speech, mind, or like and like a che zong. This all describe. One, this is our Logishore. Kimba Nimi Weser Dong Xing. Marik Mumba Tipu Nam Bar Sel. Lami Chuju Kolo Dunze B. Sometimes you can three it together also fine. Dunze B. Last three. Tonwa Maui Nima Lachak Sel. Right? So that's like a pay homage to the Buddha. This is, I mean, Rongti always first pay homage to the our Lord Shura, then pay homage to the Buddha. Then you just think, Simjian Kamji Tima Namjang Ne. Timi Deshi Gopa Rabni Xing. Shenji Tini Chidar Zebetsul. Sewara Dunze Mipam Gwenla Du. Mipam Gwen, this is like a material Buddha. Because like this Uttara Tantra is composed by material Buddha, he just pay homage to material Buddha. Sanje Surab Leshe Tujuju. Lotri Chudro Yongsu Zope Bell. Sunrob Gunji Levam Jijuba. Pande Lami Shaba Chazalo. Is on Lama. Nama Sunrob Pujun Same Cho. Gongdin Kesara Nimbu Sewa Yi. Chambe Sunrob Leshe Dabjeba Namshe Nimi Wuji Sewarcha. See, he's like a promise. So this sort of thing we can see is like a, and then actually start text. But sometimes this is a way longer. But it's like a student find this is quite difficult to translate. And I think there are few different reasons. One thing is like they use lots of poetry. So that's also like, it's confusing, number one. And also like this sort of thing, very condensed and lots of meaning together. So that's what difficult. Yeah. And sometimes you have to know the little bit background knowledge, history of this Lama. Like for somebody talking, it's like, maybe go back example. One is Sakya Penji. See, Kundu Pamze. So Pekyu Muti So Yanda Kundu Pamze. Sakya Penji debating with like a Hindu scholar and he completes this thing. So that's he's talking because we don't know this is the background, we don't know what he's talking about. So that's also like a kind of requirement background knowledge. I think those all together and then it's not that difficult to translate.
Yeah, so it's very formulaic. So I mean the verse is difficult, but once you understand the formula, then that definitely helps to know what to expect and to know what the different segments are. And also to be able to look ahead and to know when the actual body of the text starts after that section.
That's absolutely. Then also like, so basically saying, this is like this is also important. Sometimes we can see here like a ku, river, mountain body, sung, high ngata, and tuk, tijil namda. So basically saying it's like mat, right? His body is like a really kind of like a stable, like a mountain, right? His sung is like a really clear, nice, like a drum of the god. And his like his pure mind is really pure, like a titian number taba, like free from cloud, everything, clear sky. So that's could describe his body, speech, mind. I think sometimes also the lots of things, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's so helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes like this kind of, and also, I don't know, sometimes this is really important for Marco Trenja and this text. And also I'm saying those like a text, I mean, I told you this is like Royal decree. This is like we can see from the, I think Tibetan called Trajo Bambaniba, which is like I think English called the two-part grammatical guideline. So basically saying like so this text basically saying give us a guide how to translate from Sanskrit or Pali to Tibetan language. That's like, even though I mean nowadays somebody translate from Tibetan text into English or other language, I think it's very important to know this text. So then just like we clearly see how we like translate from Sanskrit into Tibetan language.
Yeah.
So that's really lots of there's really good text. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of careful guidelines, and sort of it also explains the formula for doing that kind of translation, which really helps you
Yes.
to read it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. That's so
Thanks
helpful.
so much. Yeah.
心花里，就心花里。